What?
All right,
I don't know what you're saying. It's giving you a firework.
I'm recording.
Oh.
We're Media Maniacs, and this is our Game of Thrones podcast. This is episode 2. We're going to talk about season 2 of Game of Thrones. Here's your first and only spoiler warning. If you haven't watched season 2,
Turn back now! Don't play anymore!
Jeez.
look at this spike.
Yeah, I know.
On the
Hey,
wow.
it's their one and only spoiler warning.
Yes. All right, so
Hopefully that got your attention.
Yeah. Hopefully your attention has been acquired.
And if you're deaf, I'm sorry.
Well, you're deaf now. Well,
Yeah.
how would they know?
No, if you're deaf after me yelling that.
Oh,
No,
okay.
not
Okay.
that.
I thought you were.
Jesus.
No, I was
being
like, wait, but how would they
insensitive.
know?
No. God.
So I'm Brendan.
I'm Mike.
I'm Chad.
I'm Chad.
I'm Chad.
All right, so hopefully you've listened to our other podcast. We did a season 1 recap. If this is the first podcast you're listening to, then that's fine too.
Then just reiterates the previous statement that I made. Go back.
Go back down.
But hopefully you've watched a lot of Game of Thrones. Because we have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Brendan just watched a very, very pivotal episode.
Yeah.
And is really pissed.
I don't want to talk about it.
Brendan, we were all pissed during that episode.
Yeah.
But it gets better.
All right, so let's get right into it. So, episode 1 of season 2. Well, where did the last season end? It ended with Daenerys and her dragons.
Yes.
Yes,
Which,
it did.
that's so awesome.
Yes.
That there's dragons.
Yes.
Not the naked lady. That was pretty hot.
No, there's dragons.
Yeah, she was naked with dragons.
Yeah.
Like, how is that not?
I mean, you see a naked lady anytime you want, but you see dragons, man? Come on.
But do you see a naked lady with dragons every day? No.
It's a good combo.
Yes, it is.
I think that's the last time you see her naked.
No.
Hey, I got...
No?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
In this episode, Tyrion is featured heavily because he is now the hand of the king, King Joffrey, which is kind of the most amazing role for him to have throughout the season.
Yeah.
Because he basically rules.
He basically is running King's Landing. And it's funny because... So Peter Dinklage won the Emmy for Best Supporting Actor in season 1. Didn't win season 2. And in season 2, I think
He's so much better.
He's so much better.
Yeah.
So it's really weird that
Was he nominated for season 3?
I don't remember. I don't think he was even nominated for season 2, actually. Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't want to give it to him twice.
But they give it to Bryan Cranston every year.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I mean, I don't know. But yeah, he didn't win for season 2, which I thought was weird because it was much better.
Because this entire season, he's just amazing.
Yeah. Just runs the town, basically.
And I wrote the queen is not happy, and then I wrote LOL. So it must have been funny. I don't quite remember, but the queen is, Cersei, her Tyrion's sister, is really not happy that he is the hand. And he was appointed the hand by his dad, right?
Yeah, who was the hand at the time.
Yes.
And he gave the handship to... Because he needs to keep fighting the war.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so he's like, well, you go and be the hand.
For now.
Yeah.
Bran is now the Lord of Winterfell.
Bran. Yeah.
Yep. So that means he's like running the town.
Yeah.
Like a little 10-year-old.
I think yeah.
I think he's a little... But the thing is, in my opinion, I think Bran is more mature than Joffrey.
Oh,
In my personal...
Well,
He's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a contest.
Yeah.
All right, and then so new season, we get new characters. I wrote the dude beyond the wall that fucks his daughters.
Craster.
So yeah, that's Craster. So I think before this, I didn't really realize that there are people that live beyond the wall.
Yeah.
But I guess that's kind of obvious now. They're called wildlings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the first guy at the end of season 1, the Night's Watch go over the wall to hunt down the White Walkers.
Yeah.
And so they run into Craster. Why do they go to him?
Because all the wildlings kind of there's different tribes.
Yeah.
And they all hate the Night's Watch, or they call them crows.
Yes.
But Craster, he has he calls it Craster's Keep, which is like his little stronghold, and it's just him and his daughter wives.
Yes, his daughter wives.
Yeah. And so he has no affiliation with any other like clans or tribes. So he's just by himself, and he trades with the crows. He trades like food and stuff to get for weapons and like from the Night's Watch, and gives like info too on what the wildlings are doing. So he's a wildling, but he's kind of just by himself.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a night wildling.
There you go.
Okay.
And he's a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's the end of this episode, or it might be the next one. I'm not sure, but it's heavily hinted at first for sure that he gives his sons to the White Walkers because he has no sons.
Yeah.
And they all wonder, well, what happens to the sons? And they're just like, we don't speak of that. And I'm like, okay, he gives them to the White Walkers, obviously. And then you find out that is the case. Mm-hmm. Then we meet Stannis Baratheon, who is talked about in season 1. He's King Robert, who is now dead, his younger brother, but not the youngest brother.
No, the middle child.
Yeah. And I wrote manipulative lady. That is the Red Witch.
Yeah.
Melisandre.
Yeah.
The Red Woman.
She is helping Stannis become king.
Yeah.
Or fight against King's Landing.
Become king.
So Stannis got the letter from Ned, and he's like, okay, I have the right to the throne.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's gonna fight for it.
The thing with Stannis, though, is like he has the better claim, but no one likes him. Basically, like,
yeah.
He's just kind of like cold, he's a military genius, but otherwise, like politically, he has no.
But then he's also, as I was watching, he takes orders from Melisandre.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what should I do? You know.
Well, it's more because. So she is a priestess of this other religion.
The Lord of Light.
Lord of Light. Rolar or something like that. Something like Rolar. There's an apostrophe in there somewhere. And so she claims that Stannis is like the Lord of Light now, and he's the champion of the light, and so he needs to rule. And she's got some crazy witch powers.
Yeah.
That we'll talk about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he takes a lot of cues from her because he devoutly believes that she is telling him what the Lord of Light is telling him.
Right.
So that's why he follows her.
At one point, Stannis, I think he's in like his war room with all of his people that are following him, and he says that he's going to send a letter to everyone and tell them that Joffrey is a child of incest. Which I guess he does because it becomes a rumor.
Yeah.
By the end of the season.
Yeah.
That everyone just like knows that it's a rumor, and I don't know. Some people believe it, some people don't.
And also his other advisor, Davos.
Ah, yes.
The guy with the beard.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know his name.
Yeah. He's kind of his advisor, and
yes,
he's pretty cool.
His really his best friend.
It's his hand, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then are we at the part where Theon?
Not yet.
Not yet. That part is hilarious.
Yeah.
Not yet, though.
No. Well, when he goes to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not yet. I don't think so, no.
So, and then I wrote that Robb Stark intimidates Jaime. I don't remember exactly what happens there, but I know that Jaime becomes is a prisoner.
Yeah. They fought
three. I'm reading right here. Having won 3 victories, Robb Stark offers the Lannisters peace in exchange for Norse independence.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Robb I mean, he says that he wants to split Westeros into 2 sections where he is king of the north and King's Landing is basically just the south. Mm-hmm. And I think exchanging Jaime for the daughters is part of that, or maybe that comes in later.
Yeah, that's one of the many that demands that Robb wants.
Right, yeah, he has a lot of demands.
Robb's badass.
And then there's this cool scene with Littlefinger and Cersei where he tells her that knowledge is power, and I think he's talking about the rumor that Joffrey is a child of incest, and he says knowledge is power, and then Cersei almost kills him.
Yeah.
And looking back, I wish that she had, because, I mean, Littlefinger is just like a dick. All right, so, and then deaths in this episode. The horse that Drogo gave to Daenerys, I don't remember how the horse died.
They're just like in the desert, and they're just kind of like...
okay, so yeah, it just dies. And then King Robert's bastard. So we talked about this in our last episode, but I cut it out because this is a season 2 thing. But Joffrey orders the Kingsguard to kill all of his father's bastards, which includes a baby, which I think comes into play in the next episode. Mm-hmm. But remember that blacksmith kid, Gendry?
Yeah.
Gendry.
Yeah.
Gendry. He left for the Night's Watch with Arya. The Kingsguard go after him in episode 2. Mm-hmm. So, episode 2 opens with the King's Landing guard, the Kingsguard, coming to, I don't know, the caravan that they're with, that Arya and
Gendry.
I always want to say Gendry. Gendry.
Because there's Renly.
Renly. So it's Gendry.
Yeah.
So there's a D.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gendry.
So they come looking for Gendry. Arya thinks they're looking for her. Mm-hmm. And whoever's leading them intimidates them and they leave.
I think his name's Yorick, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
Yorick. Later, Gendry noticed that Arya was worried that they were there for her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he finds out that she is actually a Stark.
Yeah.
And then he starts treating her like a noble lady, and she's like, "Don't."
Yeah. Don't do that.
Okay. So Sam, the guy that's in the Night's Watch and who is friends with Snow, they're at Caster's little village, and he takes a liking to one of the girls.
Gilly.
Okay, I didn't know her name either.
You don't know any names. do you even pay attention to the show?
Yes, it just takes a long time for me to get the names. Gilly. So he takes a liking to Gilly. She's pregnant, and she's worried about it being a boy, and they're all like, well, what happens to the boy? And then it is this episode that you find out that the boys go to the White Walkers.
Yeah.
Which I assume is some sort of sacrifice to keep them away.
Yeah, exactly.
Which means they can be reasoned with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
They're not just like zombies just trying to eat brains. They're like an actual kind of force.
Yeah. So that's interesting, and that will come into play later. Pregnant Gilly. Then one of my favorite scenes from maybe like the whole show is this. In the scene where Tyrion promotes Bronn to be the commander of the City Watch. Because the current commander, or I don't know who it was.
Yeah, he was the commander.
Okay.
Yeah.
He killed the baby that was a bastard. And Tyrion's like, we don't kill babies. So I want to actually play the scene because I can't do it justice.
Damn it, boy.
Apologies, my lord.
Leave us, Podrick. I believe we know how to pour our own wine.
That's your new squire. Could have found you a proper lad.
Myself, I prefer the improper ones.
That's a good red. Dornish?
You know your wines, my lord.
That I do. A fine dinner, my lord.
Call me Tyrion, please. I'm sure you're getting used to fine dinners now that you're a lord.
Maybe I'll hire this cook of yours.
Wars have been started for less. I heard there was some trouble in Littlefinger's brothel the other night.
Nasty business. Had to be done.
Yes, of course. The City Watch must keep the peace. Only, I hadn't realized peace depended on killing babies.
Orders are orders.
Quite right. Especially the Queen's orders.
I never said they were the Queen's orders.
No, but who else would want to murder King Robert's bastards? She's always been a jealous woman.
You know your sister better than I do.
You've heard the awful rumors about my brother and sister.
I don't listen to filth.
No, that's good of you, but you have heard them. I suppose people who do believe that filth consider Robert's bastards to be better claimants to the throne than Cersei's children.
Joffrey is my king. The rest doesn't interest me.
I appreciate your loyalty. Tell me, when your men slaughtered Ned Stark's men in the throne room, did you give the order?
I did. And I would again. The man was a traitor. He tried to buy my loyalty.
A fool. He had no idea you were already bought.
Are you drunk? Not have my honor questioned by an imp?
I'm not questioning your honor, Lord Janus. I'm denying its existence.
You think I'll stand here and take this from you, dwarf?
Dwarf, you should have stopped at imp. And yes, you will stand here and take it from me, unless you'd like to take it from my friend here. I intend to serve as Hand of the King until my father returns from the war. And seeing as you betrayed the last Hand of the King, well, I just wouldn't feel safe with you lurking about.
What are you... My friends at court will not allow this. The Queen herself
The
granted...
Queen Regent, and you're a fool to believe she's your friend.
We shall hear what Joffrey has to say about this.
No, we shan't. There's a ship leaving for Eastwatch by the Sea tonight. From there, I'm afraid it's rather a long walk to Castle Black. I hope you enjoy the wall. I found it surprisingly beautiful. In a brutal, horribly uncomfortable sort of way.
The lads will escort you. The streets aren't safe at night, my lord.
These men are under my command. I command you to arrest this cutthroat.
His name is Bronn, and he is the new commander of the City Watch.
Boys?
I have friends at court! Powerful friends! The king himself made me a lord!
To the new commander. If I told you to murder an infant girl, say, still at her mother's breast, would you do it without question?
Without question? No. I'd ask how much.
See, that scene alone should have gotten him an award. Like,
Yeah, that's an amazing scene. Because Tyrion is just such a badass.
yeah.
Does that guy ever end up at the wall, though?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
God, such great acting in the show. My God. Like, you honestly can't think of anyone else to play the imp.
Yeah, and actually, that's one of the reasons why the author George R. R. Martin agreed to do the show. He's like, if we're doing the show, Peter Dinklage has to be the imp.
Really?
Yeah, he was like,
Dude, that is awesome. See, when you got somebody...
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's like, if he's not the imp, we're not doing the show. Basically.
That's really cool that the author called out him.
Yeah.
And then he is the guy.
Yeah.
Next, Rob.
What'd you call him, Bob?
Probably autocorrect. All their names are spelled funny and it autocorrects, so I have to add them to the dictionary. But, Robert could be Bob.
Yeah, but he's not.
But he's not.
No.
So,
Bob
Rob...
Stark, that doesn't sound...
Bob Stark.
The fearful Bob Stark is coming tonight. We must run away.
The young wolf Bob Stark.
Oh, Rob Stark.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, Rob Stark. There, see, that's...
With
Shit,
two
Bob
B's.
Stark, son.
With two B's.
Yeah.
Yep.
More badass.
Yep.
So he sends Theon to, what's the place called?
Pike.
Pike.
The Iron Islands.
The Iron Islands. Which is where Theon's father is, who he hasn't seen since he was a child.
Yeah. Since like 7 or so.
Yeah.
Because his father, whose name is...
Greyjoy something.
Fuck.
Hang on, I have it. I'll look it up.
Oh my god.
I got this. I'm
failing as a
Yes. It's all
Game of
good.
Thrones fan.
No, you don't fail because you remembered that random dude's name
That guy?
from that scene.
yeah.
Yeah.
Balin.
Balin Greyjoy. So he after Robert had his rebellion, a couple years after that, Balin had his own rebellion against Robert, and it was unsuccessful.
Yeah.
And so as punishment, he took his only son Theon, to be squired at Winterfell.
Okay.
That's why he's there.
Yeah. So now Theon is going back for the first time in years. And he meets a girl. And he thinks that...
Girl, Nicole.
And Theon thinks she's attractive.
And he's like feeling her up on the horse ride.
Well, wait. So they go get on a horse and they head... Was that
Sorry,
you?
that was my foot.
Okay.
I was stretching.
So they get on a horse and they head out to meet Theon's dad, and he's flirting with her and he starts feeling her up, and he sticks his hand in her pants.
Well, first he like feels the breastises, and then goes down below.
Yep. And she doesn't say anything. She's playing along with it,
So-
and he's into it, and then he finds out that she is his sister. And the look on his face.
I'd slit my throat if I did that. I'd be like, fuck this. I can't live with
Let's
this.
just chop the hand off.
Yeah.
That's for unclean.
I was laughing so hard. That was just amazing.
Because she like walks up to where her dad is and just goes, yes, Falda. Hang on, what the?
Yeah, and then later he asked her, "Why didn't you say anything?" And I don't remember what her response was, but it was probably funny.
I figured you were having too much fun.
So that was funny. And then later on, Stannis, he recruits some pirates to help him fight King's Landing, right?
Yeah, named Celador San.
Yes.
That's the name.
Yeah, so he's recruiting pirates, and then he has sex with Melisandre, the red woman.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, that was kind of a cool scene. You know.
Have you seen the
Sex.
the table that they're on?
Yeah.
Have you seen? Did you see what it is?
Isn't it? It's their war table.
Yeah, but you see what it is?
No.
It's the map of the continent.
Yeah.
The whole table is.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I want to get that. And
Just put it in your
like
house.
a smaller version, but
Yeah.
like have that be my table. They would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
We attack Winterfell at night. We ride.
But for supper.
Yes.
And then deaths in this episode. 3 of Daenerys's Dothraki men, who she sends in three different directions to find cities, civilization, because they're in the middle of nowhere.
They're in a desert called the Red Waste, and they're fucked if they don't find a town or water or something.
Yeah. And I think
because once Drogo died, his Khalasar, his band of everything, just kind of
they left.
They left.
They're like,
the,
we're not gonna
the only people with Dany, after they saw the dragons, they're like, oh shit, this is cool.
Yeah.
But it's mostly just like her bodyguard, 3 of her bodyguards, and like the sick and the wounded and the women and children. Not a whole lot of warriors.
Okay. Yeah. And so I think she sends like her 3 best guys.
Yeah, it's her.
Out.
Yeah.
And one of the horses comes back with a severed head. Yeah, and it's a big deal because the Dothraki, the way that they do their like funerals or whatever, they have to have the whole body.
Yeah.
And they only have the head, and so that's meaningful.
Yeah.
And we don't really figure out like what happened to him.
Right.
Like
that they don't really revisit that.
Yeah. Sir Jorah.
we just don't know like what who
Yeah.
killed him, like who that was, because like they're like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. It could have been another Khalasar that just fucking with them. But
Right. Yeah. Jorah tells her it's a message from the one of the other calls.
Yeah.
And they don't like the idea of the Khalasar being ruled by a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Thanks,
So-
Wikipedia.
Moving on to episode 3. So I wrote, we've already met the Baratheon. Wait,
Yeah.
Dragonstone. So yeah, that's Stannis.
Yeah.
Okay, so Stannis is in Dragonstone. That's the name of that place. And then we already said the Greyjoys are at Pike.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first episode that you're introduced to the idea that some men are capable of living inside of animals,
Yeah.
which plays a larger role in season 3.
Yeah.
and I forget why this comes up or who brings it up.
Probably.
I think someone says it in passing, and I think you're supposed to keep it.
It might have been like over the wall, maybe like when they're talking with Craster or something.
Oh yes,
that would make sense.
Yeah, and I want to say that when you see this scene, you definitely think about Bran. Just because of the weird dreams he's been having, how he has had a dream at this point where he was inside of a wolf.
Because
Direwolf.
So in the before time, in the long ago, there were these people called the Children, and they were like little small people that lived in Westeros, like that tall. They looked like children,
like hobbits,
kind of. So they had mystical powers. They could like skin change, and they were green seer. Like we'll get into all this stuff later.
Interesting. Okay, so Natalie Dormer is in this episode. She is very attractive.
She's from the Tudors. You should watch also. It's a really good show.
That's about King Henry VIII.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I saw one episode of that.
It's so good.
She's also in a British show called The Fades, and she's in The Hunger Games.
That's right.
And she's also in Captain America, the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, she's just awesome.
Yeah, she is.
So she is Marjorie Tyrell.
Yeah, either Tyrell or Tyrrell. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I call it Tyrell.
And she is married or to be married.
Newly wedded wife.
I think they're married. Married at this point.
Married to Renly. And Renly is the youngest brother of Robert Baratheon.
Yeah.
So he, too, wants to be king.
Yeah. He has the lesser claim than Stannis, but he's way more popular than everyone else. And by marrying Marjorie Tyrell, that family is a very wealthy and powerful family. So they get all their support, along with his support from where he's from, and so they can challenge.
Yeah.
They have a bigger army. I think they have the biggest army now, actually.
So they're married.
Yep.
The catch is, Renly is in love with her brother. That's funny.
Yeah. The Knight of Flowers.
Yeah, the Knight of Flowers, who beat the Mountain last season in Joust.
And he's like one of the top 5 warriors in the continent at this point.
Yeah. And then, so this scene, he is, the Knight of Flowers, Marjorie's brother, is fighting Brienne.
Yeah, Brienne of Tarth.
Of Tarth, who is a woman and she's a knight. And that's...
No, she's not a knight. She's not a knight.
No.
She cannot be a knight.
Right.
Women cannot be knights. But she's a badass.
Yes.
Hang on.
She becomes a knight.
She's kind of good looking, right?
Well, she is a supermodel, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah. Because I like tall women. So.
Yeah. They cast. Yeah. She's not an actress. Like she was.
She's not an actress.
She's not an actress. No.
She's really good.
Yeah, she is, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Unlike Mila Jovovich.
Yeah. Right.
What? Who?
Fifth Element. Mila. Sorry. Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
She doesn't really act. She's just like, oh, I'm good looking.
But the actress who plays her, I think her name's Gwendolyn something. She is gonna be
Gwendolyn Christie.
She's in the new Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's cool.
She must play Chewbacca's in
Awesome. Chloe, stop.
I didn't do anything.
Pay attention to me.
So she battles the Knight of Flowers in this arena, and she wins.
Yep.
And I think she just asks, as a reward, she wants to be in Renly's Kingsguard, and so he lets her, which is a big deal. So now she really is a knight.
No, she's still not a knight. She's just because it's not an official Kingsguard because it's not.
Okay.
He doesn't have the crown.
He's a self-crowned.
Yeah, but he's not officially.
Yeah.
Okay.
The king, and so she is not a knight.
She's still not accepted because she's a woman.
Yeah, basically.
But she's cool because
she kicks everyone's ass.
Yeah.
Like, she's probably the best warrior in the continent. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah, we will.
So, I wrote that there are a lot of alliances formed in this episode. Catelyn Stark and Renly. Mm-hmm. They form an alliance, which seems weird to me since Robb is fighting to be king and so is Renly.
Well, it's kind of like, hey, we'll join up, we'll kill the Lannisters, then we'll see what happens after that. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Robb just wants to be north-south.
Right. So
Renly's like, we'll cross the bridge when we get there. But let's take care of the Lannisters first, and then we'll cross that bridge.
The big fish.
Okay. I wrote Tyrion's girlfriend. That would be Shay.
Mm-hmm.
Shay and Sansa, not really an alliance, but she becomes her handmaiden.
Yeah.
Handmaiden.
And Tyrion and Shay's relationship is still top secret.
Yep. Because in season 1, Tyrion's father was like, "You're gonna be hand, but you cannot have that whore there."
Yeah. No more horse.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So he knows about her.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. He knows.
Oh yeah, he does.
I wrote Tyrion and everyone on the council. So Tyrion gets this plot. He knows that there is a mole, so to say, in the small council. So he goes to Littlefinger and Varys and the old guy,
Maester
Pycelle, and he tells each of them a different, very similar story.
Yeah.
And then he waits to find out which of the stories comes back to him through someone else.
Yeah.
And then he knows that that's the person that is betraying the small council, and it's Grandmeister Pycelle.
Yeah.
So that's an awesome
That was dope.
thing that he did. And so he throws that guy in the dungeon. And then he also plans on uniting the Vale with King's Landing. And I don't quite remember why, but he sends the Queen's youngest daughter, who it's just some girl that we don't really see much.
She doesn't go to the Vale. She goes to Dorne. She doesn't go to the Vale.
Then I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, she goes to Dorne, which is in the south. Vale is in the north.
Okay. Well, Tyrion sends Cersei's youngest daughter to be wed to somebody.
Yeah.
I thought it was the boy at the Vale.
Maybe, but she gets sent to Dorne.
Okay. But basically, he's wedding children that aren't his, and Cersei isn't happy about that.
Because she herself was wed to Robert against her wishes, so she hates that concept.
Okay.
Of like political marriages.
And then Theon decides that he's not going to be with the Starks anymore and fully joins the Greyjoys.
Bad move, bro.
Yeah.
Bad move, bro.
Pretty much bad move. I don't think he sees consequences for that until season 3.
Yeah.
But
3 and 4.
But yeah, I mean, definitely throughout this season, he kind of loses himself by joining the Greyjoys.
Well, because he wrote a letter to Robb saying that they're going to attack the north, and then he burned it because he wanted to serve under his dad.
Yeah. A lot of daddy issues in this show. It's like, be your own man.
Maybe the author has daddy issues.
Maybe George does. But he's a dick, that's all I know.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I can't stop reading this shit.
And then, I didn't write who said this, but here's a quote from the episode. "Power resides where man believes it to." Which is a cool line.
That sounds Tyrion-like, possibly.
Maybe. It's a cool line because it's like all the power that they're fighting for is completely fabricated in everyone's minds.
Yeah.
It's meaningless.
Exactly.
And then deaths in this episode. That guy that was leading Arya and Gendry and all of the other kids
the Night's
to
Watch
the Night's
guy,
Watch.
yeah.
He gets killed by because the Kingsguard comes back.
The City Guard.
The City Guard.
Kingsguard's different.
Okay, City Guard comes back looking for Gendry, and there's a battle, and this guy gets a sword pierced through the back of his neck, down his spine.
Yeah.
Like, all nice and slow.
Yeah.
They just stick it in, and he's just like...
Yeah.
And, yeah, that was really brutal. And then, so they round everyone up and take him away. And in the midst of the battle, Arya lets some prisoners go.
Yeah.
And one of those guys is important.
Jaqen Hagar.
Yes. And then there's a boy who gets killed in the battle, and he has Gendry's helmet.
Yeah.
And the City Guard know about the helmet.
Yeah.
So Arya's like, that's Gendry.
Yeah.
So she essentially saves his life.
Oh, Lami.
Yeah.
Because now the City Guard thinks that they killed Gendry, but they didn't. All right.
So they don't Dany in the episode, huh?
I don't think so. Yeah, so I think I noticed this too. As the season progresses, there's so many different storylines going on that they're not all in every episode.
Yeah. And honestly, Dany's storyline in this season sucked. Like, nothing happened.
Kind of, yeah.
Nothing happened. I mean, honestly, though, in my mind, she's very overrated as a character, but, whatever.
She needs to hurry up and get to Westeros.
Exactly. Use the fucking dragons.
Okay, so episode 4, Robb meets a Valantian girl. And boy, is she pretty.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Fun fact, she is
Charlie Chaplin's
granddaughter? Grandniece? Something like that?
Granddaughter.
Really? Yeah, granddaughter.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Una Chaplin.
Yeah.
That's
who
her
is
name?
named after Charlie Chaplin's wife.
Wow. Well,
that's the one thing I looked up. I'm like, who is this chick? Oh my god.
yeah, no, she is beautiful.
Yeah.
She's really awesome.
Yeah.
So Robb and her, it's pretty clear that they got a thing for each other.
Yeah.
But I think the reason I wrote foot is because she's probably working on someone's foot.
I think so. Yeah.
And it was probably gross, but I don't remember. But she's like a healer or something like that.
Yeah.
So she's healing or tending to wounds of fallen soldiers, and I think enemy soldiers too.
So an amputation of a Lannister soldier. Yes.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Oh, okay. Yes, she cuts off someone's foot.
Yeah.
Right.
Foot.
Talisa.
Talisa?
That's her name.
Oh. Talisa.
Yeah.
All right. And then, I don't remember why, but Tyrion gets a couple whores for Joffrey.
Because he wants to calm him down.
Yes, because Bronn said maybe sex will calm this.
Yeah,
this
and
king
that doesn't
down.
work.
No.
Oh my god.
Joffrey has them beat each other
Yeah.
with something.
Yeah, we don't know. I don't want to know what that is.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that was kind of brutal.
Yeah, dude. It was that shit cray.
And then, so I think Arya and the whole gang, they get taken to a like a camp, like a prisoner camp,
Yeah.
where there's this guy that tortures them for information.
Yeah.
And most of the time, they don't get any information, and they just kill the person.
Yeah. Is it that they put like the bucket with the rat? Is that the
Yes.
Yeah.
So Gendry gets called to be intimidated or interrogated, and their method of torture is taking a rat and putting it in a bucket, and then placing the bucket against
Their chest.
and then putting flame by the bucket so the
Yeah.
rat freaks out.
Yeah, and then it just starts biting, and ugh.
Yeah.
But thankfully he gets rescued by not really rescued, but I think Tywin shows up.
Tywin, yeah.
And intervenes, and he points out that Arya's a girl. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
And he takes her as his
Cupbearer.
cupbearer. So she's safe, and everyone else, Gendry and that other kid.
Hot pie.
Hot pie.
Hot pie.
Yeah.
They are still
Yeah.
in danger, sort of. And I think, so before the guy died at the end of the last episode, the guy that was leading them to to Castle Black, he told Arya a story about how he used to chant the names of the people that he wanted to kill.
Yeah.
So Arya starts chanting the names of the people she wants to kill, which are the Hound, Joffrey, Cersei, and someone else, I think. I don't remember.
Sir Ilan Payne, who killed his dad.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she just chants those names every night before she falls asleep, which is kind of creepy, but also cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a cool instance of where the show is actually kind of better than the books, because in the books it's not with Tywin Lannister. It's with a different kind of group of people that she's a prisoner of. And so the scenes with her and him are just awesome.
Okay. So they don't even happen.
No.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So Littlefinger shows up at Lady Stark's camp.
Because he was sent by the Crown to get Renly to join them.
Okay. And I don't know, Catelyn probably does something to make him angry. Or I wrote that.
Well, he's in love with her. So
Yeah. And she, I don't know, I guess she always rejects him, no matter what.
But this time she got really pissed.
So I don't remember exactly what they said, but Littlefinger basically lies about Arya being in King's Landing. Because still nobody knows really where Arya is. And Robb and Catelyn still think that she is in King's Landing.
Yep.
And I don't even think that Tywin found out that she was Arya, did he?
No, he didn't know that.
Okay. Boy, if he had.
Yeah, he knew that she was a girl, but...
Yeah. Okay, and then Stannis and Renly, they meet up because they're brothers, but they both want to be king.
Yeah.
And so Stannis is like, listen, Renly, if you back down, nothing bad will happen to you. And he's like, no, I want to be king. That doesn't go well for him.
No, not really.
But that's in the next episode. And then Daenerys makes it to Koth.
You're forgetting an R in there. It's Karth.
Is it Karth?
It's Karth.
They say Koth.
Karth.
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 Okay, Karth. So they make it to Karth, and this city is like a walled-in city in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how it's self-sustaining.
Trade with... Well, no. Well, because they're on a port, too. They're, like, on the sea.
Okay. So
That they have trading come in and out. And they're, like, so the continent is broken up of Essos, where it's, like, this whole big landmass, and then this is, like, this divide... And then there's this land called Ashai that no one knows what the fuck is going on over there. Just like this. So, like, Karth is like the last city before that area.
Okay.
So it's like that's the last port you go to before you just go in a fucking weird ass land.
Okay. So they arrive, and basically they're in a situation where if they don't get let into the city, they're gonna die.
They're fucked.
And so there's this standoff. I don't know, there's like 12 leaders. 13 leaders. One of them steps up and he's like, I will take responsibility for her. Let's let her in.
Well, and before that, the other guys, they're like, we'll let you in if you let us see the dragons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we want to, is this real? Like, we heard rumors that you have dragons. Yeah. But Danny's like, I don't want to just show you.
Yeah. I want you to take care of my people first.
Yeah.
Right.
Then...
So she doesn't show them.
Yeah.
But she does get in because this guy vouches for her.
Zoro Zohan Duxos.
Yeah. And so basically for the next 6 episodes, this town just gets fucked.
Yeah, basically. And there's controversy in the casting of the character because he's a black man.
Yeah.
And in the books, this everyone in the city is like milky white, like almost like translucent white.
Oh.
Like for some reason they're just really, really fucking white.
Yeah.
So they have to make up this. Yeah. And the only place where there's black people in the world is this one island kind of sitting out. So like it was a whole controversy that he was black.
I thought they said that maybe he was like a foreigner.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Did they make that up for the show?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. I think that fit his character though.
Oh yeah, I was it made a lot more dimensions to him. I thought.
Yeah.
That he had to like rise up for being an outcast.
Right. Okay, and then moving on to Tyrion, he basically blackmails his cousin.
Yeah.
That blonde kid. Lancel.
Lannister.
Because I guess he is also having sex with the queen.
Yeah.
God, hot dog down the hallway.
So he essentially recruits him to be his spy, or else he'll tell everyone that they're having sex. And I don't know if that ever comes to anything.
Not really.
But I mean, I guess it just what you gain from that is that Tyrion is taking full advantage of the power that he has in his situation.
Yep.
All right, and then the episode ends. My note here is Black Death Demon Baby.
Yeah.
So, Melisandre gives birth to...
Well, first Stannis orders Davos to take Melisandre so that way they're not seen.
Yes. So they go into like some dark cave.
Yeah.
And she gives birth to this Black Death Demon Baby.
Yeah.
It's like a smoky ghost thing.
And it's crazy because like at first like when she like got on the boat she wasn't pregnant.
Yeah.
Right.
And then like she starts showing it's like holy shit you're pregnant, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
It's like oh shit you're having a baby.
It happens very fast.
Yeah.
Because they only had sex in the episode before that.
Yeah,
two episodes ago. And then deaths in this episode, I wrote slave boy at the slave camp. So someone got killed there. So episode 5 doesn't waste any time, gets right into that demon baby, and it kills Renly.
Yep.
And Brienne is really devastated by this.
Yep.
And it's made to look like Brienne is the one that did it.
Yep.
So I think her and Kat have to leave. She swears herself to Kat, and that's that.
Yep. And so one of the 5 kings is gone.
Yeah.
And it just throws everything into disarray and a shitstorm and everything.
Yes. I wrote Tyrion is a demon monkey.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That's what people call them because they hate because right now there's like a lot of like unrest in the capital.
Yes.
So like they think it's all Tyrion's fault because he's the new hand.
Okay.
But he's really trying to like help them all.
Yeah,
He's like super
no.
pissed. He's like, I'm doing everything to help you people.
Yes.
And you guys think I'm a demon monkey because I'm small.
Yes. All right. So, like we said, Arya is now the cupbearer for Tywin, and they have like a discussion about her past, and she makes it up, and he knows that she's lying, but he doesn't really know that she's a Stark. Because if he did...
Oh, yeah, she'd be captured and sent back to King's Landing.
Yeah. And then one of the guys that she rescued, what's his name?
Jaqen Hagar.
Jaqen Hagar. This guy's a badass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she runs into him, I don't remember how, but he basically says, you saved my life, so I owe you 3 lives.
Yeah, because she saved her and then him and then 2 other prisoners. That's why it's 3 lives.
Okay, yes. So he owes her 3 lives. And she's like, what? You'll kill 3 people?
Just give me a name. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And so...
Why didn't she say Tywin?
Oh, I know.
Damn it.
She was probably just excited. She's like, 3 lines.
Yeah, but...
So this guy is going to kill 3 people for her.
Because he's this part of the secret assassin society.
Yeah.
That's why. It's pretty dope.
Yes. All right, and then we learned that there is a thing called wildfire, which is like this devastating weapon that is as hot as fire or dragon breath.
Yeah.
And King's Landing is prepping it for the war. And Tyrion's kind of concerned about this because that's enough. They have enough to like just destroy King's Landing.
And it's being kept like all underneath the city too.
Yeah. So if an accident happened, they'd all just be screwed.
Yeah.
But he says he has a plan for it. And he certainly does.
Yes, he does. Foreshadow.
Yes. Then Bran has a dream about the sea coming to Winterfell.
Yep.
Which will come.
I mean, metaphorically, it's correct.
Yes, metaphorically. Alright, so this is weird. I don't remember this. So I guess Jorah tells Daenerys that she shouldn't buy an army. She should earn one when she gets to Westeros.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's pretty much it. I mean, Renly dies in this episode.
Yeah, that was the big kind of that was the big thing.
The wildfire is introduced. And yeah, I guess there's not a whole lot that happens in this episode.
Has Theon made captain of a single ship to raid fishing villages?
Oh yeah, so Theon's dad appoints him to go raid fishing villages while his sister goes into something much more important, and he's kind of angry about it. But I don't know. He ends up in Winterfell in episode 6
because he knows that Winterfell is basically there's no one there because they're all fighting Robb's war.
Right.
So he's like, I'm gonna take Winterfell, make my dad proud.
I don't know why he thinks that.
Yeah.
Why does his dad care about Winterfell?
Because there's no supposed to be king.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he's just
And also, the Three-Eyed Raven makes a comeback, and Jon Snow volunteers to join Qhorin.
The half hand.
Yeah, the half hand, and
which that's one of the instances where the show isn't as good as the books. The books, Qhorin half hand is a badass. He's a ranger from a different castle than Castle Black, so you don't get to see much of him. But he kind of joins up with the main party when they're up over the wall, and like the backstory they give about him is so cool. And then in the show, he just kind of he's there.
Oh, so Arya, one of the names was the interrogator.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the first one.
That's episode 5?
Found dead with a broken neck. Yeah.
Yeah, so she gives
And he's just standing up on top, just like nodding his head, and I'm like, oh, badass.
Yeah.
He kind of looks a little like an old, younger Bret Michaels. I don't know what it is.
Bret Michaels.
A little Bret Michaels with in Lord of the Rings too.
Bret Michaels is in Lord of the Rings?
No, not Lord. He's not in Lord of the Rings, but the guy he gets killed. He's one of the people who. He's the king's son.
Do you know who Bret Michaels is?
Yes, I know who Bret Michaels is. I'm saying a combination of the two. If you put them both together, it looks just like this guy.
Okay.
That was a stretch.
Well, with the combo of this guy, it would look... If they miraculously had a kid together, it would be... Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Mike.
So, episode 6. Theon invades Winterfell.
Yes, there we are.
I don't know, like he gets there and I'm sure he probably feels really nostalgic and awkward about
Yeah, right.
like taking over this town that he grew up in, and I don't know, just like being looked at in disgust by the Stark boys.
Right. Well, he goes up and Bran's like laying in his bed, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Hey,
I'm taking the city.
I'm taking this," and Bran's like,
"No, you're not."
"No, I'm laying here. I'm trying to enjoy myself.
I can't move.
Yeah."
I was thinking about this. The actor that plays Bran, all he has to do is sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's weird.
For him,
Yeah.
it's probably just like free money, bitches.
Yeah. All right, and then so Littlefinger again. He's in Lady Stark's camp. No, he's not. No. Okay, Littlefinger ends up in talking to Tywin, and Arya is there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he gets a good look at her.
No, he doesn't.
No, because she has her back.
Yeah, but it's a really intense scene because it's like, what if Littlefinger finds out Arya's
that's
here?
what I was thinking. I was like, "Oh shit."
But I guess he doesn't.
Although it could be argued that he does. And he
I know, because he does look at her, and I thought he did a double
I think
take.
he does. Yeah, actually.
I
think he does, but he wants to. But he's all about chaos. So he's like, well, what would happen if Arya just kind of out in the wild? Let's just keep that going. That's kind
Okay.
of what he's thinking.
Okay.
I mean, if he has a plan though, like,
But this is at this time. It's where Tywin finds out that she's like well educated. She can read better than all of her knights and everything. His knights, and basically calls them incompetent. this little girl.
Yeah, she's better than most people.
Yeah, and she said her father was a stonemason.
Yes. Yeah, she makes up a story about her family. Yeah, okay, and then we meet a very important character over the wall in Jon's story, Ygritte.
yes.
Ygritte is a wildling girl,
She's pretty hot.
and so the Night's Watch kind of raid. She's like in a small group, and they raid the group and kill everyone except for her. And then Jon is left to kill her while the rest of them leave. I don't know why they made that stupid decision, but they leave, and it's just Jon and Ygritte. And
Well, because he stopped the other guys from killing her.
Yeah.
because he likes her.
Well, he's like, oh, we gotta get information out of her.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
I need to
okay.
get my dick
It's
wet.
like, well, it's okay. I was like, okay, get information, then kill her, kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
So he goes to kill her, and he can't. And then she realizes it and runs.
Yes.
And she chases after her.
He chases after her.
Yes, he chases after her, and they get completely lost. I mean,
Yeah.
she's not lost, but he is.
Yeah.
And he does capture her, and then they spoon.
Yeah. And she starts
Yeah, grinding.
grinding and kind of a little twerking
Yeah.
action going.
And he's just
John's
like,
just like, stop.
Please stop.
Something may happen.
So I think that's all we get from this episode, but there's definitely more with them. I wrote, Joffrey is a poop face. That's a fun little pun. While they're walking in King's Landing, someone throws poop in his face.
Yeah.
And he loses his shit. And there's like a whole
it's a
riot.
huge riot, yeah.
Yeah, there's a big old riot. Sansa almost gets raped. The Hound saves her. And Tyrion yells at Joffrey.
And it's America's favorite game show, The Imp Slapping Joffrey.
Yes. Yes, he slaps.
Joffrey orders, he's like, kill everyone. Blah, 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 blah.
Rob and the Valantian girl do some more flirting.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah.
Because she's hot.
Yeah.
Foreign.
Yeah.
Foreign chicks are always the hottest.
And then, so Theon is now Prince of Winterfell, or...
Well, he's sitting on
Chair.
a chair or something, and he's basically telling Bran, hey, let them know what I am.
Yeah.
And he's like, he brings Sir Roderick. They bring
Yes.
Sir Roderick, who's beyond. They found him and then brought him back.
Yeah. That's the cool
And then-
beard guy.
Then he wants to. He actually wanted to. He was like, I'm not going to do anything to him. I'm just going to,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then his assistant. Dagner. There we are.
Yes, Dagmar Cliffjob.
Yeah, and he says, well, you're not going to get respect from these people unless you make an example out of this guy.
So then
so Theon's like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Just like,
And he kills the cool beard guy.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't do it in one
yeah.
He's just like hacking away at Sir Roderick's neck and just like
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, it was really brutal.
right there. I was just like, dude, you're a pussy.
Yeah.
Like, you no.
Yeah, and then that night, Theon and the wild girl, which I don't remember her name.
Osha.
Yeah.
They have sex, finally. And then, but she does it to, like, gain his trust and get him to, like, I don't know, basically knock him out.
Yeah, distract him,
and then she escapes Winterfell with the Stark boys and Hodor.
Yeah.
Hodor. So they leave. Then under deaths, I put Arya's second target, so she must have given another name.
Yeah, because it was
Oh yeah,
the
so
dude that was like going to go to Tywin.
yeah, so she she has a note that says something important on it, and she runs off to show it to this guy that's gonna kill people for her, and she runs into someone else along the way, and he reads the note, and she's like, oh shit, this guy's gonna go tell Tywin. So she quickly finds the assassin and has him kill this guy that's gonna rat her out to Tywin, and he dies like right as he opens the door to see
Poison
Tywin.
dart.
Yeah, which I don't even know how that guy pulled that off. It's totally awesome.
Told secret assassin.
Yeah.
Down there. They get shit done.
Yes. And then at the very end of the episode, Daenerys has her dragons stolen.
Oh, my dragons.
Yeah.
The dragons are then seen being carried to a tower by a mysterious hooded figure.
All right. Episode 7. Did you pull a knife on me in the night? Says Ygritte to Jon Snow.
Something that.
So that guy gets killed as he goes in to talk to Tywin. Tywin thinks that someone was trying to kill him, so he's kind of uneasy. So Arya, I guess she considers killing Tywin, but then doesn't.
Right.
I don't know why. She shoulda.
Yeah, she should.
Yes, and then Ygritte says that funny line to Jon Snow. Then she manages to get away, and he chases her again. Or no, that's not it. She leads him just into a trap.
Yeah.
And so he gets captured by the wildlings. And we'll get more on that in the next episode.
But Ygritte also learns that Jon's never laid with a woman.
Okay,
because of his celibacy.
Yes.
And tries to convince him that life would be better with the wildlings under Mance Raider. Basically keeps pushing her off, being like, hey, quit this.
So, meanwhile, in King's Landing, Sansa has her first period.
Ruh-roh.
And so I think Cersei then is kind of pushing her to just push out some babies.
Yeah. Except in the show, she's playing a part of a 14-year-old.
Yeah, and how old is that actress?
She's
At
now I think she's like 18 now.
Okay, yeah, she looks a lot older than what she is. Because season 3, she says that she's 14.
Yeah, and
I think it's been at least a year since the show actually started in like the show's timeline. So
it's been about a year and a half. Yeah, around a year.
Yeah, so she looks a lot older than she is, but anyway, first period, time for babies. So
First period babies 101.
So Jaime, he gets a prisoner put into his prison cell at Robb's camp, and they have this nice conversation. He's like, the prisoner guy really looks up to Jaime, and Jaime is just manipulating him so that he can kill this guy.
A prisoner or is it a guard?
No, it's a prisoner.
It's a prisoner.
Jamie's on one corner, and the other guy's in like another. They're
related too. They're both Lannisters.
Yeah, they're probably about 10 feet apart.
And he gets him to get close to him, kills him. The guards come in,
and then kills the guard.
And then he kills the guard.
Because the guard, that's important.
Yeah, strangles with the chains.
Yes, because the guard is someone's son.
Yes,
and so Jaime escapes, but like almost immediately is captured by Lady Stark somehow. They don't show it, but like he does escape.
Yeah.
But he ends up in prison again. He ends up with Lady Stark.
Yeah, and it was his. Lord Rickard Karstark.
Yes, the Karstarks.
That was his son who was killed.
Yep.
and he orders for Jaime's head
Yep.
as
Compensation.
Right. But
Yeah, that's kind of important.
yeah,
We'll get there.
that is really important. All right, so moving on to Daenerys' story.
Sorrow.
Sorrow.
That guy, the black guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so the black guy basically tells Daenerys that the dragons were taken by the sorcerer dude.
Warlocks.
The warlocks. And then there's this scene where all 13 of those guys are all sitting around, and they're all acting real casual, and the sorcerer guy's like, yeah, I have your dragons. And then they, in team with the black guy, they are working together, kill all of the council.
Yep.
And
Well, he multiplied himself.
yeah, because the sorcerer dude can somehow shadow clone jutsu.
Piat Pri.
Shadow
Is it
clone
is it
jutsu.
Piat or Piat?
Payat Pri.
Piat Pri. Yeah.
And so now that guy is now king of Koth. Which is kind of crazy. Also, I didn't ever put this in the notes, but there's this vault.
Yeah.
That I think the black guy has the key to.
Yeah.
And he wants to give everything in there to Daenerys.
Yeah.
And have Daenerys be his queen. So this guy's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Sort of. I mean, he's really ambitious, but crazy.
Yeah.
So
Fox.
yeah, that'll come into play in probably the next episode. And then Theon, he goes looking for the Stark boys.
Yeah.
Can't find them, so he takes these like 2 farmer boys, burns them, and then shows them to Winterfell, saying that they're the Stark boys. And as he looks at the burned bodies, he's like, "Holy shit, what am I doing?" He kind of has this moment of realization that he's kind of gone over the deep end. All right, so episode 8, continuing off of what we just spoke of in episode 7, the Stark boys and Hodor and them they've escaped, and everyone in Winterfell thinks they're dead now. They're actually hiding out in Winterfell.
Just to the catacombs.
Yeah, which is awesome, because they wouldn't think to look for them there.
No.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it for them. Jon Snow is taken to the Wildling camp, although I don't think he meets anybody quite yet. I think you just see the camp from afar, and you're like, wow, that's really big.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. Like I said, Jaime ends up in Lady Stark's possession, but she lets him go. Well, she has Brienne escort him back to King's Landing to trade for Sansa and Arya.
Yeah.
Which she still doesn't know Arya's not there. So that right there. I
Damn
don't
it,
know.
Cat.
She shouldn't have even done that, because she should know that that's not going to work.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, you have Jaime now. We're just going to keep the...
Right.
So what does she think? I mean...
Yeah, and also sending one person to escort the most important man all the way to King's Landing.
Yeah.
Something bad's not going to happen. Spoilers, it does.
It's like, well, I mean, she's obviously, as a mother, she's not, she's just trying to get her kids back.
Yeah.
It's like understandable, but she's so dumb.
Episode 8?
Episode 8.
So dumb.
Mike's lost.
I know, I'm trying to figure out where you guys are.
We're just kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But whatever. Tyrion is reading a book about how to have wars. Or it's a history book on all the wars. And Bronn is just kind of hanging out. And he's like, I don't know why I'm here.
Doing funny Bronn stuff.
Yeah. And then Varys comes in. And I don't know, they're kind of all joking. But Tyrion's trying to be serious. And then somehow they talk about how they're going to throw shit.
Yeah. Pig shit.
Yeah, they're going to use that as a weapon. Yeah. Which I don't think they do. No, they don't. But it was a fun idea. And then Arya gives her third name to... What's his name?
Jaqen H'ghar.
Jaqen H'ghar. It's just a weird name.
They're all weird names. They're all made up names.
So she gives the third name, and the third name is Jaqen H'ghar.
It's like, no.
And he's like, a lady gives a man his own name? And she's like, yeah, well, either kill yourself or help me and my friends escape this little...
Slave camp, yeah.
Yeah, the slave camp. So he says, okay, you and your friends will be leaving at midnight or whatever. And she's like, all right.
Cool.
No questions asked.
Well, he says, that this will cost more lives than we originally agreed to
Yeah.
if you escape.
Right.
So
That is true. But the alternative is he has to kill himself.
Yeah.
So he has no choice. Okay, and then so Cersei and Tyrion. Cersei really hates Tyrion.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess his whole family kind of hates him, which is sad.
No,
'cause-
Jamie likes him. Jamie
Jamie's the only
Jamie likes
yeah.
him a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll find out later.
Okay. Yeah, because they don't really see each other much.
Yeah. Cersei and Tywin don't like Tyrion because when Tyrion was born, killed him. Killed his mom.
Yeah.
So they both
On accident.
Yeah, but they both say that you kill her mom, like
Right,
you killed
yeah.
her, like. But Jamie does really like Tyrion.
Okay. So Cersei, I don't know if it's this episode specifically, but at some point she does say that she just wants to hurt Tyrion.
Yeah.
That's like her goal, is to just hurt him. So she knows that Tyrion has some sort of secret relationship with
Shay.
with Shay,
the whore.
with a whore, and so she brings in the whore that she thinks that it is, and it's not Shay. It's the other one that's been in it since the beginning.
Yeah.
And Tyrion's happy that it's not Shay, but he knows that he has to play along.
Yeah.
So he plays along, and Cersei continues to think that that is who he's in a relationship with. He goes back to Shay, and he's like,
Yo, shit's getting real.
well, yeah, well, he's super happy that she's safe, but he's also really worried for her. And then this might be the point where she says, "You are mine, and I am yours."
Yeah.
Which they say quite a few times. Very romantic.
So beautiful.
Yep. Speaking of romantic, segue. Rob and the foreign lady, they finally kiss, and then they have sex.
Naked.
Yeah.
Naked.
Yeah. At the same time, Rob says to his mom that you've betrayed me
Yeah.
by letting.
So he's all.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
mad.
he's pissed.
He's mad at Kat.
So about the trade and everything, and she admits it. And Roose Bolton
Yeah. What about Roose?
assures Rob that his bastard son Ramsay is only a few days from Winterfell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he says mercy will be shown to any surrendering Ironborn except Theon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except for Theon.
That motherfucker. Yeah, and then Talisa comes into Rob, and then
Where's Rob coming to Talisa?
yeah. Hey yo. Yeah. And then the two, it says here, consummate the relationship.
Yes, they do.
Oh man.
But he hasn't gotten to the phrase yet.
Yeah, that's season 1.
Season 1.
Yeah. so-
does not want to marry one of does not want to marry
shit.
and
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the big deal
Yeah.
about their relationship is that he's technically already wed
Well, he's
Yeah.
true.
To
He
someone
hasn't-
else.
They haven't had the
Yeah.
wedding yet.
yeah.
to one of Walder Frey's daughters.
Yeah.
But he really likes this girl,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
as we all do.
Oh yeah. And he left the nuts hanging out on this one. Oh yes he did.
What?
He banged her.
Yeah, okay.
Left the nuts hanging out.
All right. So, lastly, there is a scene where Tyrion is on, like, some part of the castle looking out at the sea, talking to, I want to say Varys, but maybe it was Bronn, or maybe it was all three of them. But I don't know what their conversation was, but Tyrion ends up saying something that I thought was funny, and he says, "Where is the god of tits and wine?"
Yep. The Summer Islands is where it's at.
Yeah.
And then I think Jon Snow is led to believe that all of his friends are dead,
Yeah.
but then you find out that they aren't.
Yeah, they're just in a kind of fort thing.
Right, so that was kind of confusing. I don't know if that was intentional for him to be misled. But
Because they're trying to sway him over to the Wildling side.
okay, but Sam is not dead.
No.
So moving on to episode 9, where shit gets real.
And this is the first episode that takes place in one location.
Is it?
Yeah.
The whole thing's in King's Landing.
Yeah.
Blackwater.
This is a damn good episode.
And this episode was written by George R.R. Martin.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really
He does
cool.
one
He did one a year.
one a year, yeah.
Oh, what did he write for season 1? Does he always write episode 9?
No. What did he wrote? He might have wrote that episode.
Here, I'll check it out.
But yeah, he does one. I think he did like episode 5 or 4.
He did 8.
What season?
1. The pointy end.
Oh, that was before. Okay, yeah, that was the one where. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so in this episode, this whole episode is, I guess, so the whole thing is in King's Landing, and it's just basically Stannis invading.
Yep.
And it's their war.
Yep.
So I wrote here, the calm before the storm. At the beginning of the episode, Bronn is singing in a bar, and the Hound comes up to him, and they kind of like don't like each other.
Yeah.
Tyrion is hanging out with Shay. I didn't write more than that, so I don't know. And I think Cersei lets Grandmeister Pycelle out,
Yeah, I think she does. Yeah.
which is dumb.
Well, he's her agent.
Right. So yeah, the Hound says to Bronn that they are the same. They both love killing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that's true.
Oh yeah, the bells ring. Stannis' fleet has been spotted.
And on paper, Stannis should just destroy it because there's a lot of the army is fighting Robb, so King's Landing is very vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like on paper, yeah, Stannis should just wreck
win.
shop, but that is not the case.
Mm-mm. Oh, that's where Sansa and all the women and children are in that little
Yeah, so they see the fleet coming in. All the women and children go into this little safe house. Tyrion and Joffrey are up on the front lines. Joffrey's like, kill them all! Yeah. And Tyrion's like, wait. Wait. And then they get closer and closer. Then they send out one ship. And everyone's like, one ship?
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah. And I think even Joffrey's confused.
Yeah.
And then but it gets closer, like it gets into their fleet, into Stannis' fleet. And they notice there's wildfire. Mm-hmm. Like pots and pots of it on this thing. And then Tyrion calls for the arrow to be thrown. I think Bronn does it.
Yeah.
Bronn shoots an arrow out and just lights them up. Mm-hmm. There's this huge green explosion.
Yeah.
And probably more than half the army dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just burned alive.
But before all this, Joffrey had his sword kissed by Sansa, saying, "This will one day kill your brother."
Yeah, he's...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And also what Tyrion did is, I don't know if we talk about it, he had a chain made across the bay. So like when they go past the bay, he raises this chain so they can't back out.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, they pretty much all die.
Yeah.
And then the ones that are still alive, they come onto the beach. Mm-hmm. And then the people of King's Landing start throwing rocks down. And there's this really brutal graphic scene where a rock just destroys someone's head.
Yeah.
And then they start putting their shields up.
And I think it's at this time Cersei and Sansa are like, Cersei's drunk, getting drunk.
Yes.
And is just telling Sansa, if the wall does fall, just expect to be raped.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this is taking a very dark turn for poor Sansa. Like she hasn't gone through enough with Joffrey.
Yeah. So Stannis' men are on the beach. I think Cersei orders the Lannister cousin dude
to get Joffrey.
To bring Joffrey in. Because why not? The king shouldn't have to fight for his city.
Well, no, because it's like Joffrey's like they're like, oh, give us a speech, like lead us, and like
he's like, no,
just runs away, and then Tyrion makes that great speech.
Oh
yes,
God,
Tyrion gets him.
If that doesn't get you fucking amped, dude, I was like, yes, I want to fight. Like, come on.
And you know what? Actually, at the end of it, I don't know if when you guys watch it this happens, but at the end of every episode, the writers of the show talk about it. Maybe that's only on demand.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
But they said that scene in the scripts. What's the first thing that he says?
I forget.
Okay, let's watch it.
I forget what
Grace, the Queen sent me to bring you back to the Red Keep.
If you won't defend your own city, why should they?
What would you have me do?
Lead. Get down there and lead your people against the invaders who want to kill them.
What did my mother say exactly? Did she have urgent business with me?
She did not say, Your Grace.
Sabaris Samandin, stay with my uncle and represent the king on the field of battle.
Lead the attack! What are you talking about? Hold my helmet. Sir Mandan, you will bear the king's banner. Men, form up! Men! Men! They say I am half a man. But what does that make the lot of you?
The only way out is through the gates. And they're at the gates.
There's another way out. I'm going to show you. We'll come out behind them and fuck them in their asses. Don't fight for your king. And don't fight for his kingdoms. Don't fight for honor. Don't fight for glory. Don't fight for riches because he won't get any. This is your city Stannis means to sack. That's your gate he's ramming. If he gets in, it will be your houses he burns. Your gold he steals. Your women he will rape. Those are brave men knocking at our door. Let's go kill them!
So the part where he says, "I'll lead the attack," when he whispers it, and then he says it louder, that wasn't scripted.
Okay.
He was only going to say it once, and it wasn't going to be the whisper part. But when he was acting the scene, he did that little whisper, and then he did the shouting, and they loved it so much that they kept it in the episode because that's
it's
really good
it's
choice.
Accidents like that.
Yeah,
It's that
because
much.
it works so well because it's like he's so small and he doesn't seem like he could lead something like that, and you can see it on his face when he whispers it. He's like, "Did I really just say that?"
Yeah.
And then he says it with more confidence. That's a really great scene. He has such good speeches.
Yeah.
So he leads all of them down through this passageway.
Yeah.
They come out on the beach behind them and slaughter a lot of guys. The Hound is there. There's fire everywhere.
Yeah, and he hates fire.
He hates fire. This is when you learn that he is afraid of fire. And he almost dies because of it.
Yeah.
But Bronn comes up and saves him. And then at this point, the Hound he's done. I don't know. Something clicked in his head when he saw that fire, and he just doesn't want to be in King's Landing anymore. And he says, "Fuck the king."
Fuck the king.
And he leaves. And he offers to take Sansa with him. And she should have.
Yep.
She should have gone with him.
Yep.
But she's dumb.
Yeah.
She's so dumb.
So dumb.
So he leaves. He's his own person now. And then Tyrion gets slashed in the face by the captain of the Kingsguard.
Yep.
Which I believe you learn in the next episode was Cersei's doing. She told him to kill Tyrion.
But Podrick saves the day.
But Podrick saves the day.
Kill Sir Mandan.
I don't know what's up with this Podrick guy, but apparently he's the coolest dude.
Yeah, Podrick is...
Dude, his last name's Payne. Like, come
Really?
on. Yeah, Podrick Payne.
Podrick Payne.
In the book, is he portrayed as like a not someone who's big and strong?
No, he's a doofus. Like,
So he is. Okay,
Yeah.
so they cast him well.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Actually, he's even more like charismatic in the show and like cool in the show than he is in the...
But then before Tyrion passes out, he sees a second wind, a second strike.
Yes.
Come with a Tywin Lannister.
Right. So, well, you think that it's more of Stannis' men, and you're like, oh shit, everyone's just gonna die, and then it turns out, well, you find out while Cersei is on the throne with her youngest son, and she's gonna kill him.
Yeah, it depends on who comes to the door. If it's like Stannis, then she's gonna kill him.
Right.
Yeah, she had the poison and everything.
Yeah, and you think it's gonna be Stannis, but it's not. It's Tywin with the Knight of Flowers.
The Tyrells, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, most of Renly's men have gone to Tywin, and now they come in. They beat Stannis. Stannis gets away somehow.
Yeah,
and
weird.
And he rides in. Tywin rides in. He's like, "The war's over. We win."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yay!" Except not.
Good Lannister's win, man.
Yeah.
Yep. So great episode. Moving on to the season finale of season 2.
Valar Morghulis?
Vala Morghulis.
Vala Morghulis. Yes, that is.
The episode name.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
That's the name of the episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
and then the
That's what I've been saying before you even started. I've been just saying the episode names.
and then
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
the first episode of season 3 is Valad Doharis, which is the response you give to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So, at the beginning of this episode, you find out that Tyrion and his awesomeness of this entire season is over.
Yep.
He's no longer the Hand. He finds out that his sister tried to have him killed.
Mm-hmm. Tywin's
And-
back.
And yeah, now Tywin's here, and Tywin's gonna be the Hand. And I think he gets like put into like some ratty little cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that in the castle?
It's in the castle.
Okay, but it's just a really small room.
Yeah.
Shay comes up to him and she's just like, why don't we just leave? Go to Pentos and live our days there. And he's just like, there's nothing there for me. And he says that he loves being in King's Landing for some reason.
Well, he wants to win. He wants to win. He just wants to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Tyrion's also not given any credit for the battle.
Yeah.
Right.
Not at all.
None whatsoever.
Not at
It's all.
Even though it is literally all his doing.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him, they would have lost,
Yes.
probably.
They'd all be dead.
Well, because, yeah. Without that speech, morale was like.
And the
Yeah,
wildfire.
and the
too.
wildfire. That was
Yeah.
him, too. Yeah, he pretty much saved the city and got no credit for it. So Marjorie shows up, because now the Tyrells and the Lannisters are allies.
Mm-hmm.
Joffrey is going to marry Marjorie.
Mm-hmm.
And Sansa, she walks away looking sad.
Oh my god, that was like the. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with this one over
Right.
here.
Right. And then Sansa looks all sad, but then as she walks away, she smiles really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the queen like looks at her like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but Sansa didn't want to marry Joffrey anyway.
Yeah.
And then Littlefinger, literally in the scene that she is walking away, he shows up. Like, he's there instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote, no doubt he's going to try to get to Catelyn Stark with Sansa. I mean, because she is the daughter of the woman that he loves. So it's not a stretch to say that he would love Sansa too.
He's got a big plan, and I want to know what it is, because it's like he's up to something. Stuff goes down like season 3 and 4 with him, and then in the books too. But it's like we haven't fully seen what his full plan is. It's like it's got to be big.
Yeah, I'm thinking like watch the whole series end with him actually being the leader of the White Walkers, and he brings them in and he just kills everyone.
It's such a Littlefinger thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, hilarious.
So Stannis, like I said, he has escaped. He's really doubtful now
He's all
of
buttered.
Well, he's pissed at the.
they lost.
Yeah.
And he
Melisandre. He blames her.
No, well, he blames Davos because Davos talked him into not having Melisandre there.
Right.
Because he saw the demon baby. He's like, this.
Yeah, but she's the one who basically told him to go to war, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which-
So that's the reason.
Yeah, he blamed, but still, he blames Davos more because he convinced him not to. Because she's like, oh, if I was there, the wildfire wouldn't have hurt you guys.
Right.
It's fire, and I can control fire, basically.
Yeah. Really.
But because Davos is devout of the faith of Westeros, which is the Seven, so he does not trust Melisandre's new god and like all
Lord
that.
of Light.
Yeah, so he does not like her at all. So and after he saw the demon baby, he's like, no, we don't need her. We don't need her foul magic. We can just beat Joffrey. So he's pissed at both, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when he doubts, because he's doubting the Lord of Light and everything.
Yeah.
And then she leads him to burning bowl of coal and watch the dancing fire.
Yes.
And he's then sees divine visions of Lord of Light and then restores his faith back in Melisandre.
Yep. Yep. All right.
Good shit.
So now Theon is in Winterfell. An army surrounds him.
It's Roose Bolton's bastard son, Ramsay Snow.
Yes.
What?
What I just said.
Are they with the Starks?
Yes.
Okay. So an army surrounds Winterfell, and it's like they have a horn, that they're using, and they're like blaring this horn constantly.
Yeah.
And Theon's trying to sleep, and he's so mad about this. He's like, I'm gonna have that horn blower killed.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny to see him get so angry about it, because he's just trying to sleep. But that's their tactic, is they're not gonna let him sleep. So they're just kind of standing outside of Winterfell. So then Theon finally is like, okay, so we're gonna attack back.
Yeah.
And what? He has like a small group of men. That's it.
He's got like 15 guys.
Yeah, and they've got probably hundreds, thousands.
Yeah, hundreds. Yeah.
So Theon gives this really awesome speech.
Yeah, a great speech.
It is a really good speech. And then he just gets knocked out by one of his guys.
Dagmer.
It's hilarious.
And they leave him.
Yeah, they're like, we surrender. We don't want to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
And then Theon's whereabouts is really unknown until I don't think you see him again until the next episode in season 3.
Yeah.
However, Winterfell is burned, not to the ground, but it's just kind of in shambles.
Yeah.
And Bran and his little group, they head to the north. They're gonna look for snow.
Yeah.
At the wall.
Yeah.
And they don't know that he is with the wildlings and all.
Well, and it's a pretty depressing episode for Bran because Maester Luwin tries to intervene, and then he gets stabbed.
Yeah.
And then Osha, the wildling, does a mercy killing
on him. Yeah.
On him.
Mm-hmm. At their religious tree thing.
Yeah.
The God's Wood.
Yeah. And they're heading to the wall.
Yes. Robb and the foreign lady get married. What's her name? Talisa. Robb and Talisa get married.
And actually, that's in the books. It's not her. It's a different person. But whatever.
Huh. Talisa's a different person, or he gets married to a different person?
Married to a different person. Talisa's not a thing. It's made up for the show.
Okay. It's a really cool wedding. Although Kat lectures him because he's supposed to marry someone else.
The one right thing she's ever done.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all you see there. And then so this assassin guy that's been helping out Arya escapes. Mm-hmm. They literally walk straight out the front door of this camp, and they look up, and the guards are just like
standing there.
They're standing, but they're being held up by a spear that's been put through their back.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then they meet up with the guy again, and he offers for her to come with him to Essos?
Bravos. Which is in Essos.
Okay.
It's one of the free cities.
To learn how to be an assassin. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I want to, but I have to stay here and take care of some things. And so he gives her a coin, right?
Yeah.
And says, if you ever need to find me, go to Bravos and say, Valamogules.
Yeah.
Which means every man must die. Mm-hmm. Which I don't think you learned until season 3.
Nope.
But yeah, that's an interesting word, because this is the first time you hear it. It's the name of the episode, and then in season 3 you hear it multiple times, but just in passing.
And then he changes his face.
Yeah, and then he looks
Faceless
away,
men.
comes back, and changes his face, and
that was trippy.
Yeah. Okay, so Daenerys goes to the tower where the warlocks are,
the House
to get
of Undying.
the House of Undying, to get her dragons back, and it's this really trippy place. So they end up walking around in this circle.
Yeah.
Jorah is following her. He loses sight of her.
Yeah, she's all the way. Yeah.
And then he comes full circle and meets back up with one of the Dothraki.
Yeah.
And she's gone.
Yeah.
She is now in the tower.
Yeah.
And she's just like, you think you can intimidate me? And then she walks up into this room. There's 3 doors. Mm-hmm. She walks through one of the doors, and I think then she is in the King's Palace in King's Landing. The Iron Throne is there. It's snowing. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if this is serious foreshadowing.
It's a vision,
yeah.
Or what? But yeah, she's in there, and she
in the books she sees a lot more.
Visions.
She sees a lot of. It's way more trippier in the book.
Red Keep, North of the Wall, Castle Black, and Haunted Forest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she encounters Khal Drogo.
Yes. Yeah. So after this, she sees Drogo. But my thought was that she is seeing things that she desires. Is that true in the book? Or is it
yes, and she sees stuff that foreshadows other things.
Okay.
As well as
things she desires.
But there's in the books she goes there at the request of the warlocks. They didn't steal the dragons yet. They're just hey, come check us out. See what we're all about. So we can give you powers. And it's this whole thing. You can only go to the door on any door the farthest right door is the only door you can go into. But she sees other doors, and like she sees inside of them, and like there's weird visions of stuff, but she can't go there.
Huh. All right, so she's in the throne room. She has the option to sit, or she thinks about sitting on the throne, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
Then she walks out of there and ends up at the wall, where she goes past the wall, finds a camp, and then Drogo is there with their baby. That was kind of touching, because they're like being reunited. But she knows that it's not real, and she doesn't give in, sort of.
Yeah.
And she leaves, and she ends up back in the room. Her dragon is there. And then that's when the sorcerer shows up, and basically the dragon just burns the sorcerer guy to death.
So cool.
Although, is he dead? He is a very strange person.
Killing Pia.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and so then basically now she's done in Koth. She has her dragon. She's going to leave. But before she goes, she puts the black guy, Zaro, and someone else.
One of her handmaidens. She was in collusion with Zaro to get
Right, because she finds them in bed together.
Dora, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she finds her handmaiden and the king of Koth in bed together. So she goes and opens the vault. There's nothing in there.
Yeah.
And then she leaves them in there.
Yeah. So she realizes that him saying I'm so wealthy and rich has all just been a bunch of lies.
Well, no, he is, but what it is, it's a fake vault. So like he tells people all my stuff's there. So like they focus all their attention on trying to break into it, or his real wealth is somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they get locked in the vault.
Yeah. So they're dead.
Or are they?
Yeah.
She has the key.
Or are they?
And then the very last scene is...
There's 2 books left to be good. They could be alive. So.
Huge deal.
Oh my god, dude.
So, actually, first of all, I didn't write this down, but this is important. Sam and the other... Night Watch dudes they're digging in the snow, and they find these, like, obsidian weapons.
Yeah.
And they keep them, and they're like, I don't know why these are here. But those are important later.
That was in the...
That might have been in
I
the
think it was a pre... Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was going to say that, but I was like...
But it's important.
Okay.
So, anyway, they're still hanging out there. They're looking for stuff. They seem kind of lost.
Yeah, they're just kind of...
And then suddenly there's like this really bad blizzard. Or no, they hear a horn.
Yep.
They hear one horn, and that means...
Night's Watch.
Night's Watch. And they're like, is it the Night's Watch? They hear another horn.
Like, that's Wildlings.
Wildlings. And they hear a third horn, and they're like...
What?
Oh, shit.
That hasn't been done in years.
Right. They don't know what to do, and that means White Walkers. So they start running. Sam isn't a very good runner.
No.
There's like a blizzard comes in. He hides behind a rock, and you just see a White Walker.
On a horse.
He's on a horse. On a dead horse. Pulls up right next to Sam and like looks at Sam and doesn't do anything. But you see for the first time a close up of what the White Walkers look like, and it's sick.
It's really
It's really freaky. And then he just progresses onward, and then just thousands upon thousands of zombies are following him.
And there is a difference between White Walkers themselves and what they call wraiths, which are the zombies people.
Okay.
So White Walkers are are like the main force.
Yes.
And then the zombies are just people who brought back to life. So there is a difference.
That's why when they kill they have them burn the bodies.
Yeah. And so my theory, and I'm not sure this is, I don't know if this is true or not though, the babies, when they take the babies, that's how they get turned into White Walkers and not zombies themselves. From Craster.
Interesting.
Because that's what I think anyways. I don't know if this is true or not.
How they get turned into...
White Walkers, as opposed to just zombies.
Yeah.
Who's Craster's babies.
So you think the White Walkers are taking the babies and turning them into White Walkers?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. Because
so a human can turn into a White Walker?
Maybe.
Okay.
We've only seen humans turn into wraiths, is what they call them.
Okay.
Or zombies.
See, I was thinking that they were taking the babies and turning them into wraiths.
Maybe, but yeah, I don't know, because they could just kill anyone and just make more wraiths. But maybe this is special significance of the babies. Maybe
that's actually a really good theory. Because why else would they take the baby?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like they can, raise the baby and then turn it into a wraith.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I like that.
I don't know. Maybe it's.
But in this, Jon Snow is also introduced to the whole
the whole.
No, that's
that's the first season of season 3.
Wildling Force.
He doesn't actually meet.
I think he sees the army, but then he doesn't actually meet Mance until season 3.
It was Corrin Halfhand. He says, "Hey,
kill me."
Yeah, kill me. Yeah.
So he has to kill him to give him the trust.
The Wildlings free John and introduce him to the Wildlings Force, and then promise a meeting with Mance, Mance Raider,
who is the king.
Yeah,
the king beyond the wall.
King beyond the wall, former Night's Watch.
Yeah, he used to be a crow. So yeah, that's season 2.
Yeah, and that last scene is just so amazing because it's like these White Walkers are a big deal.
Yeah, because
they have an army.
Yeah.
And they can infinitely grow this army. If there was to be a war, every single person that they slay would become part of their army.
And it's cool. It's like the end of season 1, you see the dragons for the first time.
Yeah.
Season 2, you see the White Walkers, and it's like, oh shit.
What are we gonna see at the end of 3?
Yeah. Stay tuned. We'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So that is season 2 of the. I almost said The Walking Dead. Game of Thrones. So, send us some feedback. Send us a raven, as we like to say.
Yeah. If we missed anything, let us know.
Yeah.
I'm sure we missed a lot.
Yeah. But like, share, subscribe. Even post this video on your Facebook. Let more people know about it and just constantly share it. Get more views.
Your other social medias.
Yeah.
Check out our Facebook page, which will be updating.
Yeah, we gotta be updating that.
Yes, which is facebook.com/Media Maniacs.
Yeah.
And Twitter is @media_maniacs. So, give us some feedback.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
See you later. Season 3 coming up.
The god of tits and wine.